Hi, and welcome to Haunted AF, the podcast of real ghost stories told by real people. We are your hosts. I'm Julie Fisk.
And I'm Rebecca Black.
So coming up today, we have got another glitch in the Matrix story and an update on the Conjuring house.
More updates.
Scared to even share because that shit is just constantly changing, but why not? We're going to give it a shot. We'll try.
Do this.
More Conjuring house.
Woohoo! But first, this episode of Haunted AF is brought to you by Hangman's House of Horrors. No?
What were we going to do?
I don't know. I just like the long pause to see if anybody was going to go, ooh.
I always just feel like horrors. I just want to say horror. Hangman's House of Horrors.
Okay, yeah, of horrors. First of all, I think of Danny DeVito and It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. There's an episode where he's like, where's that whore? And it just gets worse and worse throughout the episode. But I had a professor at UT, a film professor, Professor Foshko, and he would be like, you two, you're a horror. He would call me and my friend Crystal a horror because we would talk all the time.
So maybe we should...
horror.
Hangman's House of Horrors.
Horrors.
Yeah, so that way it's not House of Whores.
Yeah, not whores is way worse. Can you imagine if there was a house of whores to go visit? I mean, it'd be some good people watching.
Wait, I love how you say that like whorehouses aren't a thing.
I mean, they are a thing, but like,
Can you imagine?
You don't actively get to go and look.
I think you can if you pay enough. Look, I'm thinking of like in Amsterdam in the red light district where they have the windows and
That's
you can just
true.
kind of, anyhow, should we get back to like
They probably don't want to be associated with horrors anymore. So yes, Hangman's House of Horrors. Horrors. Fort Worth's original haunted house. It's back for its 37th season now through Sunday, November the 2nd. Buy your tickets at hangmans.com. Be sure to use our discount code HauntedAF15. You're going to get 15% off. That's HauntedAF15. You can do it online or at Hangman's door. So for more info, check it out, hangmans.com.
And we're actually going to be at Hangman's House of Horrors this weekend. That's October 18th, which would be a great time to come by and tell us your ghost story. By the way, we got to say thanks again to everybody who came out to Night of the Living podcast at Texas Live. If you watched or listened to that episode, you know we had some pretty serious AV issues.
Again, TOBY.
Yeah, which we think could probably be him or maybe our ghost Scott, who's always messing with AV stuff. Hopefully got it out of his system because we can't have any more of that.
No.
And in fact, if you want to hear more, that situation got way deep. Like I had to sage. I want to call a priest.
Let's go get some holy water this afternoon for you.
I'm not even kidding. And so we go deep into that in the pregame. So this is a really good time to be a patron.
Yeah, big thanks to our newest patrons, Wendy Zerhorst and Michelle George. They now get episodes early, ad-free, and with the pregame, all for just $5 a month. We've been posting stories on our Patreon page for over 5 years now, so there's tons of exclusive content over there. Become a patron, patreon.com/hauntedaf. Also, big love to Alicia Madigan.
Alicia Madigan, yes.
Who just ordered one of our big, comfy, black Haunted AF sweatshirts. That is legit my favorite. I cannot wait to wear it, but it's too freaking hot.
It is a great sweatshirt.
Don't forget, you guys, we've got loads of Halloween-friendly gear over there, and it's all pretty cheap.
Yeah, and it delivers very quickly. Like it shows up, it feels like within about a week.
Not bad.
So before we get started, we have to share this response from Nikki. Nikki sent the multi-generational ghost story last week. Do you remember that? With Shisher?
Yes.
Okay, so she had this imaginary / ghost friend named Shisher, and we were discussing what we thought that name could be, suggesting possibly sister.
Right.
So Nikki says, I love the idea of Shisher being sister. My mom had 4 miscarriages before me, all in the first and early second trimester, and all in that house. How amazing would that be if it was actually one of my siblings?
Right.
Thank you for that beautiful thought. It absolutely brought tears to my eyes.
What if it's multiple sisters?
Oh my gosh.
And they're all just like taking their turns, watching over you.
Anything is possible. And speaking of which, it's time to get into this glitch of the Matrix story that was sent to us.
Hey friends, it's listener RC, and I thought I would tell you my glitch in the Matrix story. So about 4 years ago, my husband and I were out walking in our neighborhood on a Saturday afternoon. I think it must have been football season because the neighborhood was really deserted. There were no cars out and about, no people in their yards working. It was, like we had the place to ourselves. And we were toward the end of our walk, a young man started running toward us. He came around a corner and he met us. He looked to be a teenager, maybe college age. And my first thought was he must be training because he looked like he was really exhausted. His face was bright red and was kind of contorted with exertion. He was really sweaty looking. He had that sort of floppy running gait, like he was just about to drop. And I thought, boy, he's pushing himself. So he met us. He was probably within 10 feet of us, and he did not acknowledge us, but I didn't really think anything about that. And we almost immediately turned the same corner that he had come from. And then because of the geography of our neighborhood, we went only about the distance of one house, and then we made another left onto a different street. As we turned onto that street, we saw another runner coming toward us, except that it was the same guy. And he met us at about the same distance. And then my husband and I, without saying a word, stopped in our tracks, and we turned and looked at him as he retreated. And then we looked at each other and said something like, "Did you see that? Oh, you saw him too? Oh, thank God. I thought I was losing my mind." And of course, the first thing we tried to work out was, how could he have circled around? We realized quickly that there was simply no way that he could have run around in a circle real quick. There were no streets, no paths. And in fact, the direction he would have come from was all houses and fences. So we knew that that couldn't have been the case. I posted this on Reddit the same day that it happened, and a couple of people said, "Oh, those were twins. You know, you got punked by some twins." And here's the thing about the twin theory. Believe me, that's where my logical brain went, after the he ran in a circle theory. But first of all, every detail was the same. The length of his hair, the unusual expression on his face, the way he was moving his body, and every item of his clothing was identical. I don't feel like many teenage twins get dressed in cute matching outfits by their moms.
Nope.
Now, I do understand the theory that some teenage twins might dress alike on purpose so that they could go try to fool somebody, but wouldn't they go to a place where there were people? They went instead to a very quiet, almost deserted neighborhood. It seems a lot more likely that they would go to, the mall or downtown or someplace where people were. It genuinely freaked us out, and we still enjoy telling the story to anybody who will listen. We also tell it to each other just to give each other chills sometimes. And I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for a great show. Bye.
Okay, RC, I need a map.
I literally was thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
Just draw it out for us so that we can see, just to be sure that you can't circle back around to the other side.
Right, because that's the first thing that stands out to me.
Same.
Is that somehow he circled back very quickly through somebody's backyard.
Right.
Something like that.
Correct.
Also, how long ago did this happen? Because to me, if you were being punked, they're not going to punk you without filming it.
Oh, totally.
So if this was any time within the past 6 years, someone would have been filming you as it happened to film your response, and then it would have ended up on TikTok.
Agreed. Yeah,
Obviously.
that would absolutely happen. I would also like to say, I don't know how many teenagers are going to prank you running.
Yeah.
That's a lot of work. I don't want to run and sweat and have to look tired.
Yeah.
That seems like a lot.
That's a real commitment to be sweaty and red and exhausted. Yeah.
I mean, maybe that's just me and being lazy. I don't know. But
No,
I just feel like that's a commitment.
I'm with you. It does feel like this reminds me of the Glitch in the Matrix story that we had out of Austin, where a woman was walking. It was kind of cold outside, and she had two different convertibles filled with surfer dudes,
right,
who drove past her within minutes, but it was the exact same car.
Yeah.
And she's like, there's no way for this to happen. So it sounds similar to that.
Agreed.
But yeah, first of all, we need a map of your neighbor. It could just be hand drawn.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be beautiful. We just need to see exactly the layout.
Yeah.
And I need an overhead aerial view.
I was thinking a Google Maps
thing.
But
totally.
Yeah, and we don't have to share it, but I would just, because I'm if you took
just for our own peace of mind.
Yeah, if you took because you said you turned the corner, if you took a left and then a left, you would be going back in the direction of the runner.
Right.
So it feels possible that he could have just turned around.
Totally. And I'm we've all seen Ferris Bueller, where he cuts across 15 yards to get to his house in time after he's passed by his mom in the car, right? So it could, that's plausible.
That's movie magic.
It is, but
yes,
it is plausible.
But it is. But if you took a right and then a left, that would put you going in the opposite direction. So we might be overthinking this.
Map with arrows, please.
Yes. Also, if anybody has seen something similar to this on TikTok, like maybe RC is like the star of a TikTok somewhere out there and completely unaware of it.
I can't lie, that'd be kind of cool.
That would be kind of cool.
Viral and didn't know it.
Didn't know. So if y'all have any information, you know the drill, hauntedafpodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah. All right. This next story comes from Kimberly. I think we're being haunted by a friend who passed away. His name was Jesse, a real sweetheart and a big jokester. He had a heart attack the morning he and my husband had plans to get together, and it devastated my husband.
Oh, I'm sure.
We've had things that move or disappear, but if I ask for the item, it will show up somewhere we already looked.
Oh,
this is fun already.
Yeah.
One was a new shirt my husband had ordered and put away in the closet. He looked 3 times through all of his clothes and couldn't find it. Okay, so first I'm kind of like, typical man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then I looked and couldn't find it.
Okay, now I believe it.
Yep,
Now it's real.
It's happening. I closed his closet and said, hey, Zach really wants to wear the shirt you took. Put it back so he can wear it. 10 minutes later, I rechecked his closet and it was right on top of a stack of shirts. My husband also told me about the shadow man who lived in one of their houses when he was a child.
What?
He was home alone while his dad was across the street talking to neighbors when he saw a shadow man walk from his brother's room to the bathroom, then turn on the light and close the door. He ran to get his dad and they searched the house, but of course, no one was there. The bathroom light was off and the door was open.
Okay, 2 questions first. Do shadow people need to poop? Why would you shut the bathroom door? Why would you even be going into the bathroom if you are a shadow person?
Maybe he just needs a little quiet time like every other man on the planet.
Well, for the record, if I am a shadow person and I need to poop, I'm going to leave the door open. And you will know. You will
You're
know.
like, I am leaving a stench and a half behind.
You will absolutely.
You can smell it down the hallway.
But also back to the ghost that hides things and then puts them back.
Yeah.
I love that so much.
It's a great story.
It really is. And I will say things out loud. I've told you the Tony look around thing, right?
Yeah.
So if you're ever missing something, try the prayer to St. Anthony. Tony look around. Something's lost. It must be found. Help me find my whatever. My kids hate me when I tell them to do
Why?
this. Because it's so goony. It's the dumbest thing in the world, but y'all, it works.
I will
really
say,
does.
I do want her to kind of time it. She said she closes the closet door and then comes back 10 minutes later and it's there. I'm like, let's see if you can close the door and then open it back and if it reappears.
And it's right there.
Yeah, like I want it to happen like real fast.
Yes. Yeah. Keep us posted on that one. Kimberly, was that her name? Kimberly?
Yes, Kimberly.
So we need to talk about the True Hunting show on Netflix. Have you had a chance to watch any of it?
I have not. My husband brought it up today and I'm like, okay, we have a show we're going to watch together.
You have to watch it.
I did already tell him, I go, Julie said it kept her up at night.
Well, yeah, it did. It got to me.
Which is a good sign. That's a good sign.
It got to me, but to be fair, and if you listen to the pregame, you already know this, I feel like my ass is haunted right now anyhow.
So it's just adding to your...
It's to my paranoia.
Gotcha.
Yes. So it's a 5-episode thing, I think, on Netflix. It's all by James Wan. The first 3 episodes is called Erie Hall or something about Erie Hall.
Yeah.
And they're allegedly all true and told by, it's kind of like us. It's like ghost stories told by the people who experienced it.
Very cool.
But then they do a dramatization of it.
Fun.
So it is. It's really cool, which we've been saying for a million years. If we could do that with Haunted AF, it would be fantastic.
Totally.
And then James Wan got to come in there and but he's doing a really good job with it. So this first one, the one about Erie Hall, it's at Geneseo University in New York, and it's all around this guy named Chris D. Cesare. I hope I'm not screwing up his name. He was a student there in the 1980s, and according to the show, Chris started hearing voices and then seeing things. He thought he was having a breakdown of some kind, and then his roommate starts seeing this ghost as well. Freaks the roommate out so much that he bails. He actually leaves the school.
Honestly, best decision there.
Yes.
Right?
But then Ed and Lorraine Warren come in to do some sort of presentation at the school. So Chris and this friend that he's been sharing these experiences with, they go, they're like blown away by the whole thing. And then they try to meet Ed and Lorraine afterwards. And Lorraine steps away from Chris and she refuses to shake his hand.
What?
Yes, exactly. And then he was like, it made me feel really terrible, like something was wrong with me. And I read separately basically that she said, I don't want to see your future. And that's why she refused to touch him. So I don't want to say any more about it. I don't want to spoil this for anybody. There is a second story about the haunted house. I think the Warrens get involved with that situation as well.
I was going to say, is it like based on things that have happened to the Warrens, like purposefully because of all of the stuff that's been coming out?
I have no idea, because in the first one, that's the only time they mention the Warrens.
Okay.
Because he ends up having to reach out to a priest. Okay. Again, I don't want to say anything else because y'all just
spoilers.
Here's the thing though. I've been going and reading summaries online about the Erie Hall situation. That's the name of the dorm that he was in, which they think is still haunted.
Well,
but
I would imagine, yeah.
The stories are a little different. It's very hard to tell exactly what's going on. I'm wondering if they've like exaggerated any of it for effect.
I mean,
so
possibly.
I want to know if any of you guys have read the books or you know anything about this Erie Hall story. Please reach out and tell us more about it. But also just keep us posted if you're watching this, because it is, and I'll be interested to hear what you think about it, because it is really scary. And then it's also a little goony.
Well, when you said reenactment, then I kind of was like, oh.
It is a good reenactment, but I got to say the curly blonde wig that they put on the guy who's supposed to be Chris is so bad. It's like distracting through the whole thing.
What is it with Netflix and wigs lately?
Why? Where else?
The Hunting Wives? The girl you say I look like, Ackerman or whatever, her terrible wig.
Malin?
Yeah.
Was she wearing, I didn't even notice she was wearing a wig.
Yeah, she's wearing a wig, and everybody was complaining about it during the entire season. And they're like, don't worry, if we get a season 2, we'll fix the wig.
I totally didn't even catch that because her tits were out the whole time.
But that's, I mean, in all honesty, they're always out. Every movie
are.
she's in, they're out. I think I've seen
out.
one movie without her boobs being in it. And I was like, good for you, honey.
There was so much going on. The last thing that I noticed was that damn wig. I promise you. Have you watched that yet?
I haven't. No.
Oh my
and
gosh.
my friend's like, it's like porn.
It's porn.
But then they're like, there's also a murder involved, and I want to see what happens with the murder. And I'm like, but is it the murder that you're really into? Like, I don't know.
No, but it is fun, but the acting is bad. Like, it's so, I can't even say watch Hunting Wise, but watch Hunting.
But watch it because it's just so awful.
Because it's crazy. It's just, oh my God, it's completely bonkers.
Well, you had brought up Ed and Lorraine Warren here, so we're going to talk a little bit about the Conjuring house, which is wild because it's changing every 5 seconds.
I wrote stuff about it and I had to go in and change everything that I had written so we could talk about it. We actually had to retape a whole episode a few months ago because the whole situation around the sale of their house, the Warrens' house changed. So it's like, damn it, this is just constantly changing.
Yeah, so here's what we know right now. Jason Hawes from Ghost Hunters and Ghost Nation, we've interviewed him. He's a super nice guy.
Yeah.
Anyway, he started this GoFundMe to try to raise enough money to buy the house at the auction, which was supposed to go up, October 31st, right?
It's a Halloween night. Yeah.
Right. So he's trying to buy the house for Andrea Perrin, who wrote House of Darkness, House of Light. You know her from the Conjuring movie. Then the mortgage was sold off and everybody got confused. They were thinking the auction wasn't going to happen, and Jason paused the GoFundMe. But it is back up and running as of this taping. I like how we have to preface that. As of this taping, still going on. And who knows what will happen 3 hours from now, because everything is changing and evolving so quickly that we can't even keep up.
Right.
He does seem to still want to buy the house at the auction and give it to Andrea, which would be pretty cool. We're going to try to keep you posted, but mainly just keep an eye out for Jason's Facebook page, because that's where most of the info is coming from.
It's just going to be really funny because, and they've raised a lot of money. Last time I checked, it was over $100,000 had already been raised. They think the last time it sold, it was like $1.5 million. $1.5 million,
I think.
But of course, we all know that Matt Rife and Elon, what's his face, are all like dying to buy it. Is his name Elon? Is that really what
his partner? I don't know.
Anyhow, it seems like everybody really wants Jason Hawes to get this. So if Matt Rife actually ends up being able to outbid him, which is entirely possible.
Absolutely it is.
He's not doing a fundraiser. It seems like he's got the money ready to go. So who are you rooting for?
Probably Jason Hawes, honestly, because I think he would appreciate it more than Matt Rife will. He's gonna profit off of this as much as he possibly can.
Yeah, and they're saying that like everybody in the community is very worried about what is this going to turn into.
Yeah, it's gonna be a looky-loo situation.
Yeah,
I think we know that.
YouTuber out there all the time. So anyhow, we'll try to keep you posted. Your best bet though is probably going to be just keeping up with Jason Hawes, because he's posting all the information there.
Beyond the pillow.
Okay, we got I love this Beyond the Pillow. This one comes from our friend Huggy Bear.
First of all, I love that it's from Huggy Bear and it's Beyond the Pillow.
I know,
that just goes so well together.
Yes, we've gotten stories from Huggy Bear before, but they say, hello, ladies. I hope this email finds you well and that y'all are having a great spooky season. I've had this dream twice in the last week and a half, so that's a lot. Mm-hmm. In the dream, I am in bed and unable to move when numerous large anaconda-type snakes come out of the walls in front of me. The floor looks like a dark, empty space, and a figure comes in from the bedroom door and stands at the corner of my bed. Then it starts rubbing a possibly dead possum on the bottom of my foot.
What?
I wake up soon after and have to check my surroundings because it felt real as fuck. I'm interested in what DreamyBot can decipher from all of this. I also have a couple of paranormal experiences that I'm going to send in soon. Love the podcast. Thanks for all you do. Huggy Bear. You got to send those stories in soon because we will be ending at the end of the month. So yeah, get that stuff in.
I'm like, first of all, I was like, okay, the anacondas. We know where that's going.
Penis.
Yep. Lots of penis.
That's not what DreamyBot says. But
that is not what he says.
No, but I have snake dreams all the time, and I'm always like,
do you?
Penis.
They wake me up. I'm terrified. I do not like a snake or a penis for that matter. They are very obtrusive.
Okay.
All right, but let's get for real. DreamyBot says, the inability to move while in bed is a classic dream motif, often linked to feelings of powerlessness or being trapped in waking life.
We pretty much know that now,
yeah,
right?
That's a standard practice right there. Snakes frequently represent primal energy, transformation, and hidden fears.
And penis.
And penises. But their size and the way they emerge speaks to a feeling of being overwhelmed by something insidious and inescapable. Ooh. The dark, empty space where the floor should be amplifies this sense of instability and the unknown. This is dark.
This is, yeah.
The figure entering the room and the act of rubbing a dead possum on your foot is deeply disturbing and loaded with symbolism.
This is the one I was really interested in.
Same, because that's a very specific moment in a dream.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So possums can represent a defense mechanism in playing dead. Makes total sense, right? Mm-hmm. Or a way of avoiding confrontation. The fact that it's being used on a vulnerable part of your body, your foot, which represents your path forward, suggests a feeling of being blocked by something unpleasant. This figure standing in the corner likely represents a part of yourself or someone in your life that you perceive as shadowy or unsettling. The act itself is a violation of boundaries or invasion of your personal space. Same with the snakes, bro. Mm-hmm. Overall, this dream seems to be tapping into a core fear of losing control, feeling trapped, and being subjected to something deeply unpleasant and violating. It suggests a situation or relationship in your waking life where you feel powerless and vulnerable, perhaps even being subtly undermined or controlled. The repeated nature of the dream indicates that this is an issue your subconscious is urgently trying to bring to your attention.
Ooh, okay, Huggy Bear, you have to let us know if
what's happening in your life.
Yeah, does that ring true? I sent the entire breakdown to Huggy Bear, so it'll be interesting to see if that rings true.
That's a lot going on if any of it does ring true.
To be fair, we haven't had a single person write in who says no, that doesn't make any sense. I don't know why DreamyBot said that. Everybody that I have sent their breakdown to, their analysis, they're always like, that's totally true. Now we never heard back from the one person that we were like, ooh, you need to check your husband. No! We haven't heard back from them. So
that makes me a little bit nervous.
I just hope they're not mad at us. They might be mad at us. Okay, so this next story comes from my friend Scott.
When I was about 10 years old, my family decided to visit the Goodman LeGrand House and Museum in Tyler, Texas. This is an enormous antebellum mansion that was built in its original form in 1859, though later added to. Think of the mansion in The Haunting of Hill House. For what I'm about to tell you, I need to give you a little backstory. The original cottage was built in 1859 by Samuel Smith. He joined the Confederate Army in 1861 and sold it to a local teacher who never lived in the house. The teacher in turn sold it to retired Dr. Samuel Goodman in 1866. In 1872, Goodman's son, also a doctor who served as a Confederate Army surgeon, bought the house for $3,000 and moved in with his wife and 4 children. They added a second floor to the house and long porch galleries on all sides of the house. Dr. Goodman's daughter Sally married James LeGrand in 1893 and continued to live in the house, but their only son died in the house at the age of 2 in 1896. The LeGrands completely remodeled the house in 1926 to its current style. Upon her death in 1939, Sally donated the house to the city of Tyler. Her spirit is still said to reside in what became her forever home, but apparently there are others. The second floor of the house is a museum, with many exhibits from the Civil War era and other such items. The first floor common rooms are used for meetings, recitals, and the like. So, the scene is set. I'm a 10-year-old boy. The downstairs of the museum seems to me to be filled with nothing but old furniture. My parents are busy with the docent, so I gravitate up the wide stairs alone. The large rooms are almost in twilight, the heavy curtains drawn against the Texas sun. But this is more like it for a boy. Civil War artifacts, tools of the surgeon's trade, old Indian relics fill display cases. I finish one room and move to the next, still alone. Or am I? As I approach the room, I can hear a faint squeaking noise, like wood on wood. It doesn't take long to locate the source. 5 feet away from me as I cross the threshold, a rocking chair is slowly moving back and forth. This, as it turned out, was the least of my problems. The rocking chair was occupied by a gray Confederate Army officer's uniform, completely puffed out like someone was in it, but no one was in it. I must have set a land speed record that stands to this day as I shot down the stairs, grabbed my father, and hauled him up with me. Bravely, I pushed my father into the room ahead of me and then peered around him. A large display case held the uniform of a Confederate officer, and the rocking chair was still moving, though not so quickly as before. "Maybe there's a cat here that was sleeping in the chair and jumped down," said my father. "He's probably under the bed over there." I politely declined the opportunity to look under the bed and went downstairs and waited in the car. Now that's still a mystery that may never be solved, but you can solve some murders when you set sail in my series titled Voyages of the Queen. Go to voyagesofthequeen.com for the website and Amazon ordering.
Okay, thank you so much, Scott. So did he say the name of the house was the Goodman LeGrand house?
I think so.
So this is what that place looks like.
Man, we go to Tyler, Texas all the time, and I have never been to this place.
I know. We need to go and take a look at that. Can you imagine?
It's a cool house.
That is a great house. It was $3,000. Can we go back to the days of buying houses like that?
It's 10,000 square feet for $3,000.
For $3,000.
Delightful.
Have you ever looked at those old Sears catalogs where you can buy a house for like next to nothing?
Yeah. Or like when the cars were like $360.
Yes.
Come on.
Wait, why did we have Sears catalogs like that? Like, but why is it that both of us have looked at these things? I know, because I hadn't seen one in about 100 years, but I know they were out there, and
I'm sure my grandparents had that Sears catalog.
Yeah.
I guarantee it.
Now I want it. Now I need another one. Before I forget, Scott's series was voyagesofthequeen.com. And thank you so much to Scott Finley, an old friend of mine.
Amazing.
So thank you for sending that story in.
You rock, Scott. All right, before we go, this episode of Haunted AF is brought to you by Hangman's House of Horrors.
I'm always going to hear the other one.
I can't.
No, it's got to be horrors.
It's got to be.
Yeah.
It's running now through Sunday, November 2nd. Buy your tickets at hangmans.com and be sure to use our discount code that is HauntedAF15. You're going to get 15% off. HauntedAF15. You can do it online or at the Hangman's door. For more info, go to hangmans.com. We're also going to be out there this weekend, October 18th, which would be such a great time for you to stop by, say hi, and tell us your ghost story.
Or you could just send it to us. You could do like
that
Scott.
too.
Yeah, huge thanks to everybody who sent in audio this week, too.
We
That was
love it.
great. And remember, the video is an option as well. You could even film yourself in your Halloween costume while you told it, and then send all that good stuff to hauntedafpodcast@gmail.com so we can use it this month on Haunted AF. Horrors.
Horror.
Whorehouse.